And so right now, let's prepare for meditation.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? And how deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Deep, deep, deep breath in now and hold it for just a moment. And then exhale, breathing out and relaxing the body, allowing the shoulders to drop and allowing the belly to drop, and beginning to focus on the breath, the breathing in, the breathing out, the breath of God, the breath of the universe, the breath. The centering, the focusing, the loving, the caring breath. The breath that we breathe in and then breathe out. We settle in now. We settle in, for this is our time, and this is our place, and this is our body. We settle in this morning to our bodies. And if you find that hard to do this morning, take another breath and then exhale and allow yourself to know that you and your body are one, that my thoughts and my body are one. Breathing in and breathing out now. Allowing every cell in my body to be receptive to divine love. Every cell of my body is open and receptive to the divine love of the universe. Every cell, my brain, my heart, my liver, my spleen, my gallbladder, if I have one, every cell within my body is filled with the love of God. I am that love of God. My body is that love of God. And so as we sit here in our bodies, we affirm the following things. I am a source of inspiration, love, and joy for myself and others. I am a source of inspiration, love, and joy for myself and others. I allow myself to express what I need to share. My needs are important. I feel connected to my well-being and show up for myself daily. I feel connected to my well-being and I show up for myself daily. Where I am going is far greater than where I have been. Where I am going is far greater than where I have been. I love the person that I am and the person I am becoming. Yes, I love the person that I am and the person that I am becoming. How I feel is more important than how I look. How I feel is more important than how I look. My body is beautiful just the way it is. I nourish it and listen to its daily needs. My body is beautiful just the way it is. I have beautiful qualities to offer this world. I do. I have beautiful qualities to offer this world. I do not chase. I attract. What belongs to me will simply find me. I do not chase. I attract. What belongs to me will simply find me. My natural beauty is what makes me beautiful. Let's breathe into that. My natural beauty is what makes me beautiful. Yes. I deserve love, compassion, and empathy. I deserve love, compassion, and empathy. I am a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. I am who I am. I am one with God. I love my body. I love my body. I love my body. I invite you to join me in that mantra for a moment now. I love my body. I love my body. I love my body. Breathing in, breathing out, settling into a time of loving my body. I relish my time this morning in the silence. I relish my time loving my body. In the silence now, I love my body. I am all that I need to be. In the silence, I am in the silence. I do. I love my body. How could anyone ever tell me that I am anything less than beautiful, that I am anything less than perfect, that I am anything less than whole? I am a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. I am whole. I am beautiful. I am perfect. Breathing in and out now and slowly coming back to this worship service, I give thanks. I give thanks for this time of loving my body this morning. I give thanks for it, and I commit to loving my body. Yes, I commit to loving my body. I love my body now. Slowly now, wiggling the toes and wiggling the fingers and moving the shoulders and moving the hips, licking the lips, and slowly opening the eyes. I come back to this time and place and say, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for my body. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
Deep within my inner space, God the Great, I am does dwell. In oneness I express God in this place. I feel joy in this truth I have to tell. God is me, God is you, God is forever true. From the world we see to the spreading galaxies, God shines through. You're with me, right by my side. I can feel you hold me when I want to hide. Surrendering to you, I give thanks and pray for your constant love. I'm grateful every day. God is me, God is you, and God is forever true. From the world we see to the spreading galaxies, God shines through. I know God is everything I see, a tender snowflake, a strong oak tree, God is me. God is you. Oh, God is forever true. From the world we see to the spreading galaxies, God shines through. God shines through.
Thank you, David Trolley. If I'm correct, David, that's a David Trolley original, isn't it? Yes, I guess it is. Thank you, David. And thank you, everybody else, for your help in the service this morning. Thank you, Moon and Bob McAvoy. Thank you, Don Morrill. Thank you, everybody behind the scenes, all the slide people, Mary Lindsay. Thank you. Thank you very much. My view keeps changing on me this morning, and I don't know why, but I've got it back where I want it right now. And I want to ask you, how was that meditation for you? I don't know. Well, yeah, it was good, wasn't it? But was it hard? I don't know about you, but I find it hard to love my body. I mean, I got these old thoughts going on in my mind that want to try to stop me from doing that. And it seems like it's happening a lot lately, you know, more than it ever did. So if it was hard, no, you're not alone. It's hard for us to love our body. It's hard for us to let go of old thoughts. It's hard for us to love ourselves. And so we have some thoughts that we have to let go of. And speaking of letting go, how's your Lent going? Are you doing any work on letting go? We've been using the 40 Days of Letting Go booklet each day in our noon meditation. And each day the booklet focuses on letting go of those behaviors, emotions, beliefs, and fears that can hold us back from allowing all of the good, all of the love, both love of others and self-love, and all of the freedom that is ours to embrace during this human experience. To date, some of the topics we've worked at letting go of include non-resistance or resistance, discontent, discouragement, doubt, chaos, criticism, and complaining. And although letting go of each of these topics will move us forward during this experience, we don't easily let go of most of them. Most of them have become a part of our daily routine. Reverend Kathy Beasley in the Letting Go booklet tells us this about the process of letting go, and I've been reading it occasionally during the noon meditations because it's so true. Letting go is a process that invites us to affirm the truth of our being and trust the unfolding journey of being fully present in our thoughts, words, and deeds. To be inspired by the smallest of things, to overcome unforeseen challenges, and let go of expectations that do not belong to us. We learn to trust the movement is spirit creating a masterpiece that is you and me. And in the remaining days of Lent, we're going to be looking at letting go of the fear of being alone. I certainly got to experience that during the 2 days I spent in the hospital. Letting go of the fear of being alone. I felt alone, and I had to let it go because I'm never alone. God was right there with me all the time. God and I are one. We're also going to talk about letting go of the fear of illness, letting go of the fear of lack, letting go of outdated beliefs, and here you go, letting go of the past. Let me say it again, letting go of the past. Let's let that go. And we'll work on it. It doesn't happen right away, but that past can really stop us, can it? And I'll tell you a little bit more about what I bring in my past that I have had to let go of to be able to move into a place of loving my body. And so, what do you need to let go of to trust the movement of that the movement of spirit is creating a masterpiece that is you? What do you need to let go of to know and to trust that the movement of spirit is creating the masterpiece that is you? The author, Shannon Kaiser, is a best-selling author of 5 books on the psychology of happiness and fulfillment, including The Self-Love Experiment, Adventures for Your Soul, and Joy Seekers. Shannon says this: for years, I avoided mirrors, deflecting compliments, even deleted tagged photos of myself on social media, all because of my shame and insecurity. I was at war with myself, the enemy, my body. When things weren't going well in my life, Shannon says her body was to blame. She didn't make the dance team in high school. She blamed her body. That guy never called her back. Her body was the reason why. So she thought. She thought to herself, if only I were thinner, I'd be more successful, more popular, and I'd finally meet my soulmate. It never ended for Shannon, no matter what size her body was, whether she was 40 pounds underweight or 40 pounds over. She says she always felt unworthy. And then it came to her. The problem was never my body or its physical weight. It was her belief about it. It was her belief about her body and her physical weight. She believed that the way she looked was more important than how she felt. So pain stayed with her for years. She says that she can recall this mantra being said to me. Oh, she didn't say this. I'm sorry. I'm catching up with myself this morning. I, myself, me, Reverend Rich, can recall this mantra being said to me and by others around me in my past. Tubby, tubby, 2x4, can't fit through the kitchen door. Tubby, tubby, 2x4, can't fit through the kitchen door. I was a chubby little thing at the age of 9, and that's when the mantra started. I never let go of it for the better part of my life. What are those old things that you're holding on to for the better part of your life that aren't serving you? Tubby, tubby, 2x4, can't fit through the kitchen door, certainly didn't serve me. And for the majority of my life, it wasn't the truth. But because I still had that thought in my mind, I was still tubby, tubby, 2x4. Shannon continues with saying that, but all that changed when I made falling in love with myself, regardless of her physical size. All of her thoughts that were negative about herself changed when she made falling in love with herself, no matter what her physical side was, a priority. When she began falling in love with herself, when she made that her full-time mission, she began to see changes in her beliefs, in her actions, and the results that she wanted in her human experience. And she said that what helped her more than anything was the positive tool of affirmations. And we know this in New Thought. Affirmations are powerful and positive healing phrases that help to retrain the brain, She says that whenever her inner critic tried to take over, she catches it by flipping the damaging voice to one of more loving and compassion. So a thought like, you are such a failure, you will never get it right, can turn into, you are doing the best you can, and you are enough as you are. You are doing the best you can, and you are enough as you are. Now that's much healthier and more loving, right? It feels better. It almost has an action of change to it. It brings us to the truth. Well, as some of you know, and if you didn't know, you'll know now, I spend Friday and Saturday in John Muir Hospital. It's a great hospital with a great team. But I want to tell you this, if you ever find yourself in John Muir as a patient, I want to advise you to bring your own food. Really. I was down having a test, and I was talking to this gentleman sitting next to me, and we were talking about the food, and we both felt the same way about it. And he said, the chicken was so dry, I put it in the tomato soup to moisten it up. Well, that says a lot, doesn't it? Boy, and while I was there with not the best food, I had a chance to beat myself and my body up for whatever was happening that brought me into the hospital. Oh yes, I was doing it, this unity minister with all this practice. I was beating myself, my body up, my thoughts up for ending up here in the hospital. I was saying your diet's all wrong. You don't exercise enough. You used to have hair in your body. Where did it go? What are all these lines in your skin? Your skin is a little saggier. Well, it's more than a little saggier than it used to be. When did that happen? Why did it happen? How did I let it happen? All these thoughts kept coming in my head while laying in bed, waiting and going from test to test, from nurse to nurse and doctor to doctor. I was beating my body up instead of loving it and healing it and thanking it for all that it has done for me. Saturday morning, I got out of bed for the first time in the morning and walked into the bathroom. And guess what happened? I found myself face to face with myself in the mirror. Face to face. I wasn't ready for it at 6 o'clock Saturday morning after everything that was going on. And guess what? I looked fabulous. I did. I looked fabulous. There I was. I wasn't the 26-year-old that was in my mind thinking that you're still 26, the one that I pictured in my mind. Do you do that? Yeah, I bet you do. We all do that, don't we? I'm not 72. I'm 26. I can do everything that I did at 26. I look like I did. I think like I did. I feel like I did. And you know what? That's just not the truth. I don't look like it. I don't feel like it. And I don't think like it anymore. I am a 72-year-old, and I'm strong. I'm firm. I'm good looking, and I'm vital. It hit me hard when I saw who I really was and not the negative thoughts I was holding about myself. It really caught me by surprise that I had been beating myself up for the last 24 hours. And here, all of a sudden, by looking at myself and by allowing the truth of me to shine through, I realized you're not 26, you're 72, but you're still as perfect as you always were. And Carlini, you better be remembering it. And so I'm doing some affirmations. Shannon wrote several books, and one of her books, and I want to recommend it to you because it's an excellent reading and it's got some excellent work you can do for loving your body. It's called The Self-Love Experiment, 15 Principles for Becoming More Kind, Compassionate, and Accepting of Yourself. It's a paperback that came out in August of 2017. In that book, she says, put a stop to the self-sabotage and overcome your fears so that you can gain the confidence you need to reach your goals and become your own best friend. Too many people seem to believe that they are not allowed to put themselves first or go after their own dreams out of fear of being selfish or sacrificing others' needs. Now, let me say that one more time, because that's a good statement. Too many people seem to believe that they're not allowed to put themselves first or go after their own dreams out of a fear of being selfish or sacrificing others' needs. The love experiment can help rectify this problem. Whether you want to achieve weight loss, land your dream job, find your soulmate, or get out of debt, it all comes back to self-love and accepting yourself first. There's another word. We talked about self-love, but then, and accepting yourself first. And accepting who I am, accepting yourself first. Shannon Kaiser learned the secrets to loving herself, finding purpose, and living a passion-filled life after recovering from eating disorders, drug addictions, corporate burnout, and depression. In the book, Shannon walks you through her own personal experiment, a simple plan that compassionately guides you through the process of removing fear-based thoughts so you can fall in love with life. If you want to change your outcome in life, you have to change your daily habits and perspectives. If you want to change your outcome in life, you have to change your daily habits and perspectives. In the book, Shannon will take you on a great journey into self-love and true self-acceptance. Until we learn compassion, we can't fully love ourselves. Until we learn compassion, we can't fully love ourselves. And that morning, Saturday in the hospital, when I looked in the mirror and saw who I really was, compassion fell over me. Compassion for what was going on, that I was even in the hospital, that I had to be talked into going to the hospital, that I was denying that I was in the hospital, and here I was in the hospital. I was just saying I'm not in the hospital. And I'm looking at myself going, well, I am in the hospital, but I don't want to be here. Denial. It can be healthy. And then again, it cannot be healthy. The self-love experience is an experiment, which means some things will work for you, while others may not. It's important to exercise compassion along your journey and let go of the drive for perfection. Let go of the drive for perfection. Make sure to be kind to yourself and treat the entire process as an experiment. In an experiment, we try things, and if they don't work, we see they're not working, and then we try new things. And if they work, then we keep doing them. So why not look at ourselves as an experience, as an experiment, trying new things, letting go of things. And if one thing doesn't work, we can try another one. There's so many things we can do. Shannon says in her book, to do this, you need to lighten up. I needed to lighten up in the hospital, I can tell you that. I needed to lighten up emotionally, physically, spiritually, and intellectually. I needed to increase self-confidence and be able to look in the mirror and say only positive things. Shannon advises this: see yourself as your dog or cat sees you. Awesome, amazing, beautiful, quite possibly the coolest person in the world. There's no doubt in my mind that Miss Puma and Bessie Coleman think I'm the coolest person in the world. Now, why don't I think I'm the coolest person in the world? Self-love. How does that make you feel? The word self-love feels funny to the majority of people. Self-love feels selfish. We are not trained to love ourselves. Because we're not used to it, it feels uncomfortable for many of us. But we should always care for ourselves. If you find the word self-love uncomfortable, focus on self-care instead. I reflected upon the Serenity Prayer because it's so helpful in this situation. God, give us the serenity to accept the things that cannot be changed, the courage to change the things that can be changed, and the wisdom to know the difference. Yes, it does take courage to accept the things that cannot be changed. I cannot change the fact that I'm 72. Marcia Chicada told me I could tell you this. She cannot change the fact that her hearing isn't what it used to be. And she was going out Wednesday or Thursday to pick up her hearing aids. And she was glad to be doing it because her kids would quit picking on her. Saying, Grandma, you don't hear anything anymore. Grandma, you didn't hear what I said. Grandma, how old are you? Grandma, you can't hear anymore. That doesn't matter. She's doing self-care. She's tired of not hearing what everybody's saying. She's tired of not hearing what Steve is saying too, probably. I'd want to know what Steve was saying if I were Marcia. And so she's doing something about it. When you allow yourself to be where you want, instead of where you think you should be, even where you want to be, freedom prevails. Ken Wilber, in his breakthrough book, No Boundary, says the following. If you want to get rid of any offensive aspect of yourself and the negative thoughts and the needs and feelings associated with it, the best way to do so is to accept them and integrate them into your consciousness. One more time, the best way to get rid of any aspect of yourself and the negative thoughts and needs and feelings associated with it, the best way to get rid of them is to accept them and integrate them into your consciousness. Ken Wilber says the things we reject about ourselves alienate us from what we think is the real us, which is what causes us which is the cause of the real issues. We don't see the real us, and that causes the real issues for us. But when we can accept the real us, we can go forward and be all that we're meant to be. Negative thoughts about ourselves are like naughty children who intentionally cause problems because they want attention and need some love. Aren't those what our negative thoughts about? They're like naughty children. They want our attention and they really do need some love. And so why don't we give it to them? These thoughts can cause all kinds of negative feelings. Most of us are walking around feeling inadequate and flawed, and we mentally beat ourselves up about it. We think there's something wrong with us because we can't break our habits or change our ways or fix our flaws. But these flaws aren't really flaws. The moment we accept them as part of our experience, the negative hold they have on us disappears. So what does this self-love or self-care look like? What can we do? What does it look like? Well, we can say positive things to ourselves. I am whole, perfect, vital. I am a child of God. I have all the energy I need. What else does it look like? Here's a good one, and we've talked about it many times. Forgiving yourself and others. Don't a lot of those negative thoughts about ourselves come up have to do with forgiveness? We're holding a grudge about somebody, and it's more likely something that they said about us that we can't give up, that perhaps was the truth or perhaps not, but we're holding on to it. And we're holding on to things about ourselves. We're holding on to tubby 2x4 can't fit through the kitchen door. So can we forgive ourselves? Can I forgive the kids that used to tease me like that? Next, being assertive and setting boundaries. Now that sounds a little being assertive. We don't like to say that, but how else do you set boundaries if you're not assertive? You have to put yourself out there. You have to assert yourself. You have to assert your boundaries. I'm not okay with this. You don't need to be calling me tubby 2x4 because I'm not so fat I can't fit through the kitchen door. So I'm going to set that boundary. If you come around me and say that, I'm going to go away from you and I don't want to be around you, right? It's not okay to say that. It's not okay. It's not okay for me to not say positive things about myself, so I have to set boundaries. Am I willing to ask for help and then be open to receive it? A lot of us ask for help, but are we open to receive it? Someone offers to give us help, we say, oh, no, thank you. I don't need that. I'll do it myself. And it's going to beat us up because we need help doing it. Can we recognize our own strengths and utilize them? Can we value our feelings and share them with our loved ones? Can we value our feelings and not hold on to them, not be afraid to share them, but share our feelings with our loved ones? Can we challenge ourselves to grow and go past what we know? Can we accept our imperfections? Can we set realistic expectations? Do we acknowledge our progress and our effort? Do we acknowledge our progress and our effort? I don't know about you, but I have trouble with that one. I mean, in the midst of beating myself up and experimenting on new things to do, why, I don't think much about the progress I'm making or the efforts that I've put into it. And I should, because it's all so positive. The fact that I'm using the fifth unity principle, I'm putting action behind my thoughts, behind my desires, behind what I want. I'm putting action behind it. So why can't I acknowledge my progress and my effort? Well, how do we do all this? Well, we start doing affirmations, if we're willing. We start doing affirmations and denials. We deny any power to those thoughts that say we're imperfect or less than or not enough than. And we affirm positive thoughts about ourselves. We begin to realize that the only approval we need is our own approval. We begin to realize that we're not damaged or wounded. There is nothing wrong with me. I am not damaged or wounded. There is nothing wrong with me. We realize that self-love is not about how we look or what we do. It's about how we live. We realize that how we feel is more important than how we look. And if we begin saying, like I was willing to do Saturday morning, I am vibrant and in picture perfect health. I am vibrant and in picture perfect health. What are we talking about there? I'm laying in a hospital bed and I'm having pain and I'm not feeling well. And I'm supposed to say I am vibrant and in picture perfect health? Well, yes, because how could anyone ever tell us that we're anything less than whole? How could anyone, including ourselves, ever tell us that we're anything less than beautiful, no matter what the situation is? Because the truth is, no matter where we are in this human experience, we're exactly where we're supposed to be, and we're 100% whole. Can you speak to yourself kindly? Can you be your own friend? Can you be your own friend? Are you your own friend? Do you speak kindly to yourself? A couple of more affirmations. My body is my sanctuary. I treat it kindly with love. I love my body because of what it has overcome. I love my body because of what it has overcome. You know, I have to say that was so important to me in those 2 days. What have I overcome in my 72 years? And how has my body helped me do that? It brings me to tears a little bit because it's been there for me. It's always been there for me. I've had everything that I've always needed. Can I love my body? Can you love your body because of what you have overcome? This is mine. I appreciate who I see in the mirror. I appreciate who I see in the mirror. Try that one on for size. Try looking in the mirror and saying, I appreciate who I see in the mirror. I love and accept me. I love and accept me. I honor my body's needs. I have loving compassion for all the things to be as they are, where they are, starting with myself. Loving compassion for things as they are, where they are, and I start that with myself. Where am I? Okay, I'm in the hospital, and I have compassion for myself for that. I don't beat myself up for it like I was. I have compassion. I love myself. I'll tell you what, Saturday was so much easier than Friday once I began loving myself again, once I began knowing I was whole again. And do I trust the process of all the difficulty that comes with new beginning? You see, that's what we're doing, is if we're gonna let go of all those thoughts, we're gonna find ourselves into transition because we're starting a new beginning. We're allowing the old thoughts, the non-compassion, the belittling and saying that I'm flawless. We're letting it all go. And we're beginning to love ourselves, to say that I am whole and perfect exactly and where I am, that I love my mind, my body, and my spirit. When you first start, Wilbur says, it feels like falling backward from a ledge. The cliff of the impossible to home mountain you've been climbing your entire life, but falling back with no fear, no worry, just trust and love, gracefully falling backward and knowing that everything is going to be more than okay. I want to invite you this week, a couple things. If you're having trouble letting go, consider stopping into noon meditation. Consider, if you can't make noon meditation, getting out the Advent book and doing the daily reading of letting go. If you can make the meditation, come and do it and begin letting go of those things that don't serve you. And this week, begin, if you don't already, loving you. Loving where you are, where you're at, and loving your body. I invite you to love your body. Things will be so much better when you do. Thanks for being here this week. Thanks for listening to this hard topic, because it is a hard topic. And thank you all for being the love that you are. Have a great week. Amen.